Kylian Mbappe's journey begins in the small suburb of Bondy, just outside Paris. From the very start, people could sense there was something special about this young boy. Born on December 20th, 1998, he grew up in a family that loved sports. His father, Wilfried, was a football coach, and his mother, Faiza, was a former handball player. The mix of discipline, passion, and athletic bloodline shaped the young Mbappé into someone who dreamed far bigger than the narrow streets of Bondy. As a child, Kylian was obsessed with football. He would spend hours dribbling the ball, imitating his heroes like Cristiano Ronaldo and Thierry Henry. His room was covered with posters of Ronaldo, his ultimate idol. Even his teachers noticed that Mbappe's focus wasn't like the other kids. While many children thought about video games or cartoons, Mbappé was constantly thinking about the next goal, the next chance to prove himself on the field. His father coached him at AS Bondy, a local club, and it didn't take long before everyone saw that this boy wasn't ordinary. He had speed that defenders couldn't match and intelligence beyond his years. Coaches often said, "He plays like he sees the game 2 steps ahead." Scouts from across France began to notice, and soon enough, Mbappé was invited to train at Clairefontaine, the famous French football academy where many legends had sharpened their skills. At Clairefontaine, Mbappé's potential turned into reality. He wasn't just fast, he was lightning quick. He wasn't just skilled, he had the confidence of a player much older. At just 14, he was already being called the next big thing in French football. Big clubs like Real Madrid, Chelsea, and PSG all had their eyes on him. He even visited Real Madrid as a teenager, meeting his idol Cristiano Ronaldo, an experience that pushed him even harder to chase greatness. But instead of jumping straight to a massive club, Mbappé chose a path of patience and growth. In 2015, he joined Monaco's academy. Within months, his talent forced him into the senior team. He made his professional debut at just 16 years old, breaking Thierry Henry's record as the youngest debutant for Monaco. The world began to whisper his name, but very soon, they would be shouting it. The turning point came in the 2016-17 season. Mbappé exploded onto the European stage, scoring crucial goals in the Champions League. Against giants like Manchester City and Borussia Dortmund, this teenager was running past defenders like they were invisible. His fearless play helped Monaco shock the football world by winning Ligue 1, ending PSG's dominance. At just 18, Mbappé wasn't just a rising star, he was a superstar in the making, and the whole world had their eyes fixed on him. After his breakout season with Monaco, Mbappé had the entire football world chasing him. Clubs lined up with record offers, but it was Paris Saint-Germain who secured his signature in 2017. At only 18 years old, Mbappé became the second most expensive player in history, joining Neymar to form one of the deadliest attacking duos the game had ever seen. Some doubted whether he could handle the pressure of playing in his home city with so much expectation, but Mbappé thrived under the spotlight. His first season at PSG was electric. He scored, assisted, and tore defenses apart with his pace and skill. It was clear Mbappé wasn't just a rising talent, he was already one of the best in the world. But the real stage that defined him came in the summer of 2018. At just 19 years old, Mbappé represented France in the World Cup in Russia. The entire world watched in awe as the teenager destroyed defenses. Against Argentina, he delivered one of the greatest performances by a teenager in World Cup history, scoring twice and winning a penalty in a 4-3 thriller. In the final against Croatia, Mbappé scored yet again, becoming only the second teenager after Pelé to score in a World Cup final. By the time France lifted the trophy, the whole planet knew that Mbappé wasn't just the future of football, he was the present. The years that followed only built his legend. With PSG, he won league titles, golden boots, and shattered records. He became the youngest player to reach 100 goals for the club, and his speed, often clocked above 36 kilometers per hour, made him nearly impossible to stop. But despite all the domestic success, the the Champions League remained the one prize he desperately chased. In 2021, Mbappé delivered another iconic performance against Barcelona in the Champions League, scoring a hat-trick at Camp Nou. The world once again compared him to Ronaldo and Messi, wondering if Mbappé was destined to take their crown. But while success came often, challenges did too. In the Euro 2020, France were knocked out in shocking fashion, and Mbappé missed the decisive penalty, facing harsh criticism. Yet, true to his nature, he bounced back stronger. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar further proved his greatness. France reached the final once again, and Mbappé delivered one of the most legendary performances ever seen. He scored a hat-trick against Argentina, nearly single-handedly dragging France to victory. Even though Argentina lifted the trophy, Mbappé walked away with the Golden Boot, cementing his status as one of the greatest players of his generation. Today, Kylian Mbappé stands as a global icon, not just for his speed and goals, but for his ambition. He has always said he wants to leave a mark on football history, not just win titles. Whether in France, at PSG, or in the future with another giant club, one thing is certain: Mbappé is a player who turns dreams into reality, and his story is still being written.